Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
What a big week it is for the Blue Jackets as they have traded Patrik Laine to the Montreal Canadiens along with a second-round pick, and in exchange have gotten young defenseman Jordan Harris. Jordan will join me a little bit later on the show talking about the trade and his excitement in coming from Montreal to Columbus. But right now, let's get things kicked off as I am joined by President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Don Waddell. And Don, you get this trade done. It's one you've been trying to get done for quite a long time now. What does it feel like that you have gotten the deal? How happy are you with what you were able to do?
Yeah, when you go into this situation, you talk to everybody you possibly can, and you find out what the market is going to bear. Most teams are in cap situations where, they're asking us to hold half the money, and some had to move contracts back to us. And so I didn't think that was a good step in the right direction, And we said all along, if we can move Patrik, we will, but we're not going to make a bad deal. Montreal's in a unique situation. They had the cap space, and they know the player. And if the player regains what everybody knows he can do, score goals, they'll have a good player in on their team. So it was a win-win, I think, for both of us. Again, for us to clear up, the $8.7 million cap space and $9 million a year in cash, gives us a lot of options. And my phone started ringing the day I made the trade, because there's a lot of teams that are in cap problems that are looking to potentially move players. So, we'll continue to take those calls, make those calls, and, if something happens before training camp, then good. If not, we'll just wait as the season goes on. And, there might be a need that comes up for us, and we'll have more flexibility within the cap system to try to make our team better.
You just said if Patrik Laine regains his form, it's going to be great for Montreal, and there's no question about that. This is a guy that once upon a time scored 40 goals in a season in the NHL. Does that make it harder for you as a GM? I mean, so many guys are looking for those kind of players. You had one, but you're in a situation where you just can't keep them.
Yeah, I have to take all the information that was given to me because obviously I wasn't here last year, and I talked to a lot of people, both internally and externally, and the feeling was how things ended here last season when he, I think it was 20-some games he played and then went in the program. Everybody felt that, the move him on was the best thing for this organization. And, it's hard to trade good players, but knowing what we're dealt with and knowing that he didn't want to be here, and the backup in the summer when I got the job, that was the first question I asked players when I called them all was, do you want to be part of the solution or not? And certainly when you have one of your higher paid players that comes out publicly and doesn't want to be here, then I think it makes it a tough situation to bring that kind of player back in your locker room.
And that was close. Let's be honest about it. Camp is not that far off. And I really love how you addressed that. And you did it way back before the draft where you said, just what you said right now, if I can't get a good deal, then it's possible he's going to have to come back here and start as a Blue Jacket. Were you starting to think at all that you might be in that boat, that he might have to come back here and kind of play his way out?
Yeah, no, I was. I've talked to multiple teams that had interest in him, and again, it was there was deals to make, but they weren't deals that I could comfortably bring to Mike or ownership to say, this makes sense for us. So, we kept pursuing it. I spent a lot of time talking to a lot of GMs in the league, and Montreal had a sincere interest. Just started recently here, and we talked about what I was looking for, and they were open that they had the cap space, and they had the owner's consent to move forward with it. So we just explored what that cost would be. And we also wanted to get some kind of player back in a deal and get a 23-year-old young defenseman that's played games, obviously played 56, I think, last year before he got hurt. To me, you can never have too much on the back end. So that's why the deal made total sense for our end.
When you talk about the back end, in addition to Jordan Harris coming over now in this deal, let's go back to the draft a couple of weeks ago. You added a lot of defensemen, so obviously that's well, I know you said in the draft that, sometimes those were the best players available, but you've really stocked up on a lot of D here in the last couple of months, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think, you talk about good teams, and, they're built from the back end out, up the middle. So my experiences and some of my past employers have been, have the best defense you can have, and that's the least amount of time you spend in your own zone, the more chance you have to score goals, and that's what it's all about, scoring goals and giving up less. So, having guys that are not only capable but puck-moving defensemen that can make plays to get you out of the zone, I think it's critical for a very successful hockey team.
Is this a player that they offered up to you, or is it somebody that you scoured the roster and you kind of pointed out you would like to have, or was it somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. They gave us the list of names, and certainly we went through that pretty extensively and came up with Jordan. So, again, I think the age of the player and his experience already, and the other thing about it, this is a wonderful person and a great kid, and I've heard that over and over now since we made the move. Actually, Trevor Timmons, who works for us, drafted him in Montreal, and he talked to me the night after we made the trade. He said, "You're going to love this kid. He's an unbelievable kid." And so, again, it goes back. We need good players, but we want good people, and he certainly is going to fit that bill.
Were you comfortable, or do you wish you didn't have to include a second-round pick in that, or is that just the cost of doing business and that's the way it goes?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I think it's a very reasonable cost. I can remember years ago I traded, I got a first-round pick for taking just over $4 million. So from Montreal standpoint, they like the player, so that's what they're willing to take out of his whole cap hit the next 2 years. But for us to get out of like I said, that kind of money for 2 years, is certainly worth a second-round pick.
And there are ways to get that pick back down the road, and I know you love to trade and wheel and deal, so I wouldn't be surprised if you have it back at some point.
Well, teams are always looking for different times, regardless of where we are. Hopefully in a playoff race there, at the trade deadline, but teams are always looking for third parties, and we're going to have lots of cap space, and there's no doubt we'll be able to restock our draft picks that we've lost.
Talk with Don Waddell, Blue Jackets president of hockey operations and general manager. You said that after you made the trade, your phone started ringing because now teams know that you have a lot of cap space, and you do. You've got a lot of it right now. What are you looking for with that? As you said, you can be patient about it, and if something happens, something happens. But is there a certain something that you're still looking to add to this team that might work out this way because you have this extra cash?
Well, I think, my job as a general manager, anytime you can make your team better, you have to look at that. And so, we don't have a lot of forwards. We actually have 12 with the big team. We got some guys, young players that are coming. But, I held off because of not knowing what Patrick was going to bring back in a trade. But now that we know we're not taking any forwards back, we can be more proactive with some of these teams. But, so skill to me and scoring is still a priority. You have to score to win. So, if we can find a player, it might be a salary situation for a cap team, somebody that has got potential, or somebody just fits that role that you really like to have. So we can be pretty open about it. No rush unless something really jumps out that makes too much sense. But I think we can be patient with this, because I think as we get into training camp right now, the cap, teams are allowed to carry 10% more than the cap, and once you get in training camp, put your rosters in, you have to be at the cap. So, we're studying every team's cap situation to see who potentially could be available, and pretty confident that we'll be able to add to our group.
Funny you talk about the forwards, because the last couple of years the talk has been about how many forwards there are in this organization and how are you going to fit guys in. Now, you've moved some guys out over the course of the summer and changed things around here. There's no question about it. But now you find yourself in a situation where that's a position you want to add to.
Yeah, and then, again, we're not taking away anything from what we have here. We want the young players to continue to develop. I think that's critical that they continue to get opportunities to play. But saying that, we also know that it's a long season. You're not going to go through 100% healthy. And it's also sometimes you need to have that little extra player that everybody knows can jump in the lineup, because, you got to make sure you learn how to win and give it your 100% every night. And sometimes if you get out of the lineup, you might not get back in. Is a little inspiration for some players. Not all players need that, but certainly there's some players that need that.
And you've talked about the importance of development, and you talked about your other stops and how you felt it was important to leave guys in the American Hockey League. And so when you're talking about this, a guy like Gavin Brindley comes to mind for me, because he's a high second-round pick, obviously. He got a chance to play one game in the NHL last year, but that doesn't mean that he has to jump into the National Hockey League and be one of your forwards this year, because you've got that team in Cleveland there that presents a great opportunity, right, for him to get there and develop. If he makes a team, that's one thing, but if he doesn't, you want to be able to let those guys season a bit.
Right. Good point there. Every player that comes in camp has a chance to make the team. I always say that. You're not going to make any decisions before you get to camp. But saying that, these young players, I think playing in the American League is a great league. And from a development standpoint, I've seen it over and over where players go down there and they may be down there 20 games, 40 games of the whole year and develop their skills to become a regular NHL player. The worst thing for a young player is to be put in a spot where he ends up playing, 8-10 minutes a night, scratch some nights. He's not going to learn. He's not going to develop that way. So you just want to handle these. I think every situation is different, but handle it knowing that if using Brindley for an example, that he's a future player. It's going to be for the Blue Jackets that we put him in the right spot to have success and teach him how to be a pro.
Yeah, and sometimes that 20-plus minutes a game you can get in the American Hockey League. You're not going to get it in the NHL right away.
No doubt about it. Our goal in the American League is develop and win together, and I think you can do that. I've always said you can do that. And we're not going to have 20 prospects down there. We'll have the 7 or 8 that we have and surround them with some good veteran players, some other good players, because I truly believe, if you can win and develop at the same time, I've been in situations where we've gone to the finals where young players got to play 24, 25 playoff games. And I don't care what league you're playing, when you get in the playoffs, it's all tough hockey and great learning experience.
Yeah, and I think if you go back just in a short period of time and you look at the history of teams in the American Hockey League, the Tampa Bay Lightning goes to the Stanley Cup Final 3 times. The core of that team in the American Hockey League was in back-to-back championship series. Look at the Cleveland team that won the Calder Cup a couple of years ago. The guys like Josh Anderson, Zach Werenski, Oliver Bjorkstrand. When they came here, they were used to winning. They weren't used to losing, and that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, I always say winning breeds winning, but so does losing. If you lose all the time, you accept it, and that's just not acceptable. I've said, our goal every year should be to win the Stanley Cup, not anything else. Doesn't mean we're going to win the Stanley Cup every year, but we got to have that mindset that we believe we can contend and win it. And what you said is, I so believe that. Winning does breed winning. Once you win, there's nothing like it. But flip that around, if you lose every year, you kind of get used to accepting it. So we don't want that in this organization.
As we're talking about guys and getting experience and seasoning and all that stuff, the one guy that jumps out to me is Denton Mateychuk, because you actually got a chance to see him play in the playoffs in Cleveland. It was only a couple of games, but, man, it is hard, especially as a defenseman, to walk into the American Hockey League just coming out of junior and look like you've been there for a long period of time. And there were parts of his game that looked like, yeah, he was just used to it. Is that, I know there are a lot of guys you're excited to see at camp, but that guy in particular, are you looking forward to what you might see and how much he might challenge to be on this team?
Yeah, 100%. I was there the first game he played as you jump in from junior hockey to an American League playoff game, and I can remember the first shift he had. He came up the left side. He snapped a pass across ice, and I love defensemen that snapped the puck. He didn't saucer it. He snapped it and created a 2-on-1 for us, first shift of his first pro game. So what I saw, and I've watched a lot of video now of him in juniors, that he's going to be a player. Obviously, going back to like we talked about Brindley, you got to make sure you put him in the right situation to have success. if he has to start in the American League, I think that'll be a great development for him. If he comes in here and we sit here at the end of camp and say, there's no way we can send him back, that's the decision we'll have to make as management.
I'm talking with Blue Jackets President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Don Waddell. Our conversation continues as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We know your golf game is ugly, but your course doesn't have to be. Experience the natural beauty of Delaware Golf Club today. Delaware Golf Club is now open to the public and only 10 miles up the road from 270. For the best rates, book your tee time online at DelawareGolfClub.com.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota, ask for my friend Marcello, and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit GermainToyota.net and drive away in style today. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina, and at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Meet Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Maryhaven. More and more people are falling into problem gambling. It can happen so quickly that you don't realize it until you face a crisis. Gambling issues often connect to depression, anxiety, or other addictions. Maryhaven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance. Confidential and judgment-free. Go to Maryhaven.com today.
It's time for Cleveland Browns preseason football, baby. Catch the Brownies and Seahawks live from Space Needle Town. They have a Tyvis Powell statue.
Live coverage starts Saturday night at 8.
Your home for Browns football. The Fan.
Scotty Vegas here for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Pavers, natural stone, seating walls, even lighting and landscaping. Everything is in-house with Maxima, so buy from the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention 971 The Fan for $250 off your next project. Get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
August may seem like the end of summer. It also means the beginning of a lot of things, like back to school, festivals, football. At Buckeye Lake Marina, it means the August savings days are upon us. Get huge discounts on all of the new and used boats that they didn't sell. Every pontoon, tri-toon, sport boats, even fishing boats are ready for you. Save thousands on demo models that have been used all summer to show off amazing features. Some have never even been in the water. Take advantage of the August savings days at Buckeye Lake Marina. Their summer hours continue through the entire month of August. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for details.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
As the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bread Financial is ready to join the fifth line and light the fuse. And that's not just cannon fodder. They offer simple, personalized payment, lending, and saving solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings, CDs, and even buy now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for any budget. Shoot and score at breadfinancial.com.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keep making plans to learn more.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Fair skies, a bit of a breeze, a nice night for the crew game. Temperatures in the mid-70s, down to around 50 for Thursday morning with clear skies and light winds. Plenty of sunshine, low humidity, and light winds on Thursday afternoon with highs near 80 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott, talking with Blue Jackets President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Don Waddell.
Last week, you were able to fill out the coaching staff. Dean Evason now has all of his assistants in place. How involved were you on that? Was that a lot of Dean? I mean, these are the guys he's going to have to work with, and obviously you're the boss, so you're going to be a part of it. But how much were you of the process?
Well, the good thing about Dean is Dean wants me to be a part of the process, and obviously I talked to him about the guys we had here and Bowler and Mac, and I said, I'd like you to interview him. I'm not telling you have to hire him. And once he interviewed him and did his homework, he came back to me and said, there's no reason for me to make a change there. And then he heard so many good things about Havlet. And obviously he didn't know him, but knew the work he did in Chicago. Once he talked to him, he called me. I remember he says, I can see what everybody's talking about. This guy gets it, and he's a good person. And then the one that he'd worked with, Scott Ford, I only knew Scott as a player. I knew him as a player, not as a coach. And so he asked me to talk to Scott. So I talked to Scott multiple times, and then I reported back to Dean that I'm on board, and Dean was excited about that. So, I think as the coach and manager, if we don't work together on everything, you can't have all success. I mean, we're in this thing together. We both want the same result, and how we get there is by communication and supporting each other and trying to make the good decisions every time.
When you're talking about Mike Havlin, he's been in Cleveland the last couple of years. When I talk to the people in Cleveland, the one thing that they say to me is this guy is a relationship builder. He has that unique talent of being able to build trust and relationships with players. That is so important for an assistant coach, right? And you've coached before. You know how important it is. You've got to have that go-between guy between the head coach and the player sometimes to be the mediator, just to work things out. Is that the biggest strength that he has?
Well, the experience, obviously, going back to playing and coaching, you can never give up anything about experience, because I think experience is key. But first of all, he's a great person, too, which makes it. But as you said, the relationship with the assistant coaches and the players is going to be critical, because they hear a lot more than the head coach hears at times when they're around the room traveling. Why the hell is he doing this and that? And they're there to explain and build those relationships. And I know Mike's got great relationships with all the guys down there. And when I go back to, again, where you hire people that are capable of doing their job, that are good people, you're going to find success.
One thing I got to ask you, and maybe this is a Dean question and not you, but I'm with you, so I'm just going to ask you this. You've got a lot of former defensemen on that staff. Who's going to run the offense?
Well, Dean and I have talked about this a lot, and Dean in his past head coaching experience and assistant coaching has always run the forwards, particularly down the middle. He was a center as a player. And then, if you look back at the different skill set, I don't want to give away all Dean's secrets, but, the one thing Dean wanted, what he asked me for a staff was to get a defensive coach, a power play coach, a penalty killing coach, and he oversees everything. He said he'll handle the forwards with some help. And if you go back and look, Havlet, when he was in Chicago, was in charge of their power play. Their power play is pretty good. Not taken away from Kane, the Tays, and some of the players they had there.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
But so he hasn't laid it all out. He's talked to the guys about some of his ideas and that. And I think before we get to camp here, he'll have everybody's duties all lined up.
All right, before I let you go, Cole Sillinger, finally, you're talking about all the things you've had to check off your list this summer, and you get the Cole Sillinger thing done. And how happy are you that that's finally in the rearview mirror? And how happy are you that you've got this young man that is, he's going to come back here after having a great bounce back year last year?
Yeah. First of all, there's never a doubt. His agent, Craig Oster, is a deal maker, and I've done many deals with him. And Josh has been working with him on, the term. The big thing was that term. We started off maybe going long term. We knew that both sides probably couldn't commit because there's still upside that we haven't potentially seen in the player. So I had never had a doubt that we'd get the deal done. We both agreed that 2 years was going to be the term, and then, it's like every contract, you haggle at what the dollar amounts be. But even when we started, we were so close from what they thought it should be and what we should be that there was never a fear that this wasn't going to get done. So we're happy to have Silly back for a couple of years and look forward to continuing his career down the road.
Are you happy that you're able to get not only Sillinger, but Kent Johnson, Kirill Marchenko? You get them all done. You get them on these relatively short-term deals, which are basically kind of hey, just prove it. Just come back and show me that what you've done is not a fluke. Or I guess in the case of Kent Johnson, last year was a little bit of a down year. Show me that 2 years ago was what you really are. Because sometimes it's hard to get those deals. Sometimes agents want the big money in the long term, but you were able to stay away from that and get what you needed.
Yeah, I think with Kent, the part was let's take the contract out of us. Don't even worry about the contract. Sign him for 3 years. All he has to do is go out and play. Doesn't have to worry about year to year. Because we could have held a line there and said, pick up your qualifying offer. The agent could have played a line that he only wants to sign 1 year. But we agreed early on that a 3-year contract made the most sense, and it's just a matter of getting comfortable, and that deal got done relatively quick. But I think in his situation, after what he's been through, I think this is the best. He doesn't have to worry about a contract. Just go out, continue to get stronger as a player, and as that continues, like you said, I hope I'm paying him a lot of money in 3 years because that means it's worked out pretty well.
Interesting what you just said there. He doesn't have to worry about a contract. And I think what is easy to forget in this whole big scheme of things is players are people. And even though your contract is up, and even though you're a restricted free agent, which means you're going to get another deal, sometimes that unknowing of what is the deal going to be, how much do they like me, especially in Kent's case, coming off a year like last year, that can really weigh on a player, can't it?
100%. I've seen it be such a positive and such a negative, too, because, as you said, we're dealing with human beings here. They're hockey players.
Young human beings in this case.
Young human beings. And, I think, it's a comfort level for some. Some could deal with it better. It's like life, people deal with situations different than other people. And I think with young players, as you said, going through this for the first time, because their entry-level contract's pretty standard, to be able to not have to worry about for the next 3 years. Particularly in Kent, every player, like I said, we approach him a little bit differently. But with Kent, I think this made so much sense because of what the potential is there. He knows he's got to work on his game. He knows he's got to get stronger. We're going to, continue to work with him. We've invested in him. We want to have success. He's a higher draft pick. He's got, for a reason, because he's got high-end skill. But now we got to take that to the next level.
As I sit here talking with you in late August, part of me is thinking, I kind of feel bad for you because this is the time of the year that all the GMs are supposed to be off and, golfing, and they're hanging out at the cottage on the lake and all that kind of stuff. And here you've been, in here every single day. But I don't feel bad for you because I know that's what you love, isn't it?
I go to the office 7 days a week. When I was in my previous place for 10 years, there was only 2 days I didn't go, and it was the 25th of December. So I love going to the office. I love the work, and every day it's something. I always say in this business, some new idea comes up every day, or some issue comes up every day, and so. I'm very fortunate that my wife knows my life, and so she does her own thing at times, and I just come to the office and do my thing.
Have you been able to get your life in order? I'm talking about outside of here. I mean, you've had to come in, find a place to live, get your cars registered, all those things that we all have to do every day, but all we talk about is doing the signing of these contracts. I mean, you got a life too.
Well, it was funny because the day we made the Patrick trade was my birthday. And so my wife said, where do you want to go to dinner? I said, well, we got to go buy a washer dryer. So we went and bought a washer dryer that night, and that was got that accomplished. That was good. So like you said, that's the other part, that we talk about, because you want to make sure you support at home and take care of things that you need to get done, and so we're getting there. We're getting much closer, that's for sure, and we'll be there by the time the start of the season comes around.
What was the bigger self-present, the washer and dryer, or getting the Line A thing taken care of for you?
Yeah. It's funny how it all happened on my birthday too, so I'll never forget that. But no, obviously the Patrick thing was critical for us to make progress and finally get it across the finish line. It's been ongoing for months since I've been here, so it was nice to put that away.
I used to work with a baseball coach one time that used to play like the reserve players on their birthday, because he said that your biorhythms are up on your birthday. And first I thought he was nuts, and then I'd see a guy that played like once a month come in and go 4 for 4 in that game. So I guess your biorhythms were really up on your birthday. So happy belated birthday to you. Congratulations on everything you've been able to get done. I know you have so much more that you want to do. And thanks for taking the time, Don. I appreciate it.
Oh, Bob, pleasure to be with you, and thank you very much.
That is Blue Jackets President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Don Waddell. Coming up next, I'll talk with Jordan Harris, who is coming to the Blue Jackets from the Canadiens, as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues on 97.1 The Fan.
Chops has serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
One leg. Why is it always one leg? You got a winning parlay going, only to lose it all on that last lousy leg. Brutal. Well, not anymore, because DraftKings Sportsbook has your back with progressive parlays. It's okay if you lose a leg because you still get paid. So even if you're forsaken by the football gods and take an L, you can still walk away a winner. So try an NFL Progressive Parlay today, where you can lose a leg and still get paid. DraftKings, we get you, so we got that. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Driving this summer in a new Honda. Act now during Honda's summer event to save thousands with low 1.9% financing. Full inventory is here. Cars, SUVs, trucks, vans, and hybrids. With hybrids, the battery charges as you drive. Don't miss Honda's summer event with big savings on gas or hybrid, like the 2024 Honda Ridgeline, now with low 1.9% financing. Search your local Honda dealer.
See dealer for financing details. For well-qualified buyers. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Saving money on your next upgrade now at Menards. Some things never go out of style, like tile from Mohawk. You can count on the durability, easy maintenance, and timeless beauty of tile. With over 350 ceramic, porcelain, mosaic, and glass tiles to choose from, Mohawk Tile provides long-lasting charm in any space. Visit the store and Menards.com to see all our great deals going on in our weekly flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
Your Saturdays are now full, and Sundays. And don't forget about Monday and Thursdays, too. You know the drill. It's football season. We are your home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and the NFL. If you change the channel, you're a loser. The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33, or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free, and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott. Right now, I am joined by Jordan Harris, who is one of the newest Blue Jackets. He was just acquired in a trade with the Montreal Canadiens. Patrik Laine went to Montreal. Jordan comes back to the Blue Jackets. And Jordan, when you got that call that you were being traded to the Blue Jackets, did you see it coming? Did you have an idea that you might be going somewhere, or was it something that was out of the blue for you?
That's a good question. Honestly, I figured that one of the younger defensemen in Montreal would be moved. Jonathan Kovacevic was moved to Jersey earlier in the offseason and kind of had an inkling. I thought maybe I'd get moved last year at the deadline. There's some rumblings about that, but I felt like something had to give at some point with the amount of talented defensemen that we had in Montreal, and so kind of saw it coming, but still was a bit surprised. I feel like you never really expect to get a phone call when you're just getting ready for the season, especially a couple of weeks away.
Well, when the call came, what was your thought? When you started to absorb it and realizing that, hey, you're the guy that got traded, you're the guy that's going to Columbus, once you started to process, what were your feelings?
Definitely a little shocked at first, right? But excitement came really quickly after that, and truly, and everyone I've talked to, I got a chance to talk to David Savard, yesterday I chatted with him quick on the phone, and just how highly he praised Columbus and the organization and everything. Knowing, Sean Monahan, who's there now, and have crossed paths with a couple of other players. So there's a lot of excitement. It seems like a really hungry group, and definitely an underrated hockey market. Playing there, I played there my rookie year, and it was a great atmosphere. It was unbelievable. So, new management, new coach. I think there's a lot of hunger there and excitement, and that relates to how I feel with the start of my career as well.
You were a former third-round pick of Montreal, and as you just stated, you played a couple of years, a little bit here in the National Hockey League, and you're a college player coming out of Northeastern. So you're coming to Well, it's an NHL town, but it's also a pretty good college town here, too.
Yeah, exactly. As I've heard, I had some buddies who played hockey at Ohio State, and one player who I played with at Northeastern who's actually playing at Ohio State this upcoming year. So there's a lot of connections there. Again, a lot of love for Columbus. And obviously we'll have to get to a football game at some point.
Yeah, that's I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When you talk to David Savard, and of course, David was drafted by the Blue Jackets and spent a lot of time playing here before he eventually moved on to Tampa and got that Stanley Cup ring and then went to Montreal. First-class guy, first-class act. I loved being around him. And you mentioned that he had so many good things to say about Columbus. And that's got to mean a lot for a young player like you coming from a veteran like David who's been through a lot of things in his career.
Exactly. And he's like, the amount of things that he said, he's like, the town, the restaurant, my kids grew up there. He said it was unbelievable. And it's really cool. And he's a special teammate himself and really fortunate to have been able to play with him the past couple of years. But you know that he's going to be straightforward with you and honest. And so to hear that from him, again, like you said, with all the experience that he's had, meant a lot. Definitely someone I look up to as well.
Did he tell you what area you might want to look to live in, what good restaurants to go to? Did you guys get to that point, or is that something you'll just have text back and forth as you get here and get settled in?
So after we chatted and read the end, he's like, I'm going to give you a list of good places that you need to know. And he probably sent me, a list of 10 different restaurants, and his wife and my girlfriend were chatting a bit as well. So, as of where we're going to live, we're still trying to figure that out. That's, in progress right now, but hopefully get it sorted in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And it's funny, as you say, it's in progress. It's kind of late in the game for doing this kind of stuff, right? Not often do people get traded in the middle or the third week of August, but that's what happens to you. So, like, there's the life aspect of it, finding a place to live, moving your stuff to a different city, and all of that. But it's a pretty close and pretty tight window for you before that camp gets started, isn't it?
A little bit. I think everyone around me is stressing a bit more than I am.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And like my mom, like I told her yesterday, she was like almost in tears. I'm like, it's gonna be great. Like playing hockey, it's not like it's great. I'm doing what I love to do in a great hockey market. And I think the tears or the shock came more from change instead of leaving Montreal, And I think, as a mother, I think she worries just about the well-being of us. And she's like, I already looked at flights. I already looked at all this stuff. And for me, I'm lucky, to have my girlfriend and obviously the Columbus staff has reached out and they've been fantastic with everything so far. So I feel like for me, it might be a little bit easier. All I need to focus on is playing hockey, right? And we're obviously going to find a place to live and settle in and might have to get some furniture or something. But really lucky to be surrounded by great people who help with some of that stuff.
Talking with Jordan Harris. He's now a Blue Jackets defenseman. I know you're a Massachusetts guy. Is that where you are now?
Yeah. So we got a place in the spring in Burlington, Massachusetts.
All right. So for how far was it? If your parents wanted to come see you play in Montreal, what's the distance there?
4.5 hours. Yeah, not a bad drive.
So it's going to be a little bit of a longer drive here.
Yeah, but so we looked it up. It's 12 hours, so it's drivable for sure. Like we'll drive there before training camp, just have the car and stuff. So it's not terrible by any means.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The flight's like an hour and a half. Like it's very easy. Yeah.
All right. Tell me about your game. Like what are your strengths? If you break down your own game for the fans of the Columbus Blue Jackets, what are they going to see out of you when you're on the ice?
Yeah. Not being the biggest defender, I rely on my feet and my brain and positioning and stick to defend. And I think defending is my strong suit. And I like to take care of defending first as a defenseman. killing plays quickly, using my feet, tight gaps, turning pucks up the other way. I think good outlet pass is huge, especially in today's game. So making those good decisions, coming out of the zone, exiting the zone, killing those plays, and enjoying the rush. Use my feet to get up ice, and then during the rush, whenever I get a chance to, I definitely like to add in on offense when I can, but not at the expense of defending well and defending first. And definitely have worked on, the physicality side of my game, but I think it definitely all revolves around my feet, positioning, angles, and then adding in where I can offensively, and that's something that I think the next step in my game progression, I think that offensive side is something that I work on a lot in the summer, and I definitely think that's an aspect that I can showcase more and add to my game.
When you talk about the transition game, getting the puck out of your own zone, getting it on the stick of the forwards, I'm sure you've looked at this roster. You know some of those forwards that you have the opportunity to get the puck to. And you had a very talented group there in Montreal as well, don't get me wrong. But when you look at this, does it excite you, the kind of guys that you're going to be around, you're going to play with, and that you can, help getting those plays and that transition through the neutral zone started with?
For sure. Exactly what I was thinking. And there's a lot of high-end talent. Like, there's a lot of exciting talent and a hungry group, like a young group. And it's great. It's exciting. And those are players that you want to play with, right? And then be in position to get the puck back sometimes, and read off each other. And that's what makes hockey so fun, is it's so fluid and you read off each other. And so definitely a lot of really exciting talent. I'm excited to, get on the ice with them and get started soon.
I'm talking with Jordan Harris, defenseman for the Columbus Blue Jackets, just acquired from the Montreal Canadiens in the Patrik Laine trade. We'll continue our conversation as the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina, and at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Rockman and Ice.
This is not the year to decide whether Russell Wilson can get you to the playoffs, only to lose. This is the year to figure out whether you have a future at quarterback.
Rockman and Ice, weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Create career momentum with us at Worthington Steel. Whether you're a recent grad or a seasoned veteran looking to level up, we'll empower your journey. Join a team that puts people first with career development programs, competitive pay, and excellent benefits, including lower health insurance premiums than comparable companies. Let's drive steel forward together. Apply today at worthingtonsteel.com/careers. That's worthingtonsteel.com/careers.
Every breakaway, every penalty kill, every check into the boards, it all takes hard work. And hard work needs advanced rehydration. That's why the Columbus Blue Jackets choose Pedialyte as their official hydration partner. Pedialyte has twice the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. Hydrate like the pros and make Pedialyte a part of your exercise routine. Per liter, Pedialyte has at least 1,030 milligrams of sodium and no more than 25 grams of sugar. Leading sports drinks have approximately 460 milligrams of sodium and 58 grams of sugar.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
With Jordan Harris, he was traded from Montreal to the Blue Jackets in the Patrick Laine trade. You mentioned Sean Monahan, and I'd like you to just talk about him for a second because you have been teammates with him. For the fans here in Columbus, they've seen him play in Calgary and Montreal, Winnipeg, but you know, what does this guy bring to a team? Because he's somebody else that's coming in here and looking to earn a pretty big and a pretty important role. What was it like being a teammate with him?
Amani's great. He's one, as a player, incredibly smart, a guy you can rely on, a two-way player. But the way he processes the game is really what stood out to me most. Like in the right position, you know, has a lot of length to him, like protects the pucks really well, but he's good and tight. Like he can make a lot of slip passes, a lot of really nice dishes, good in the dot. But as a person, I mean, he's hilarious. He's really quiet and you almost think he's shy, but he's really funny. Like if you get to talk to him, like, he's really witty. We'll have like a few like small jokes that kind of fly under the radar. So he has a nickname for everyone, comes up with a nickname for everyone before games. Used to call me Gary. I've never been called Gary once before in my career. But it's just like he's really funny and a great teammate and someone that everyone in the locker room will get along with.
Well, and I'm glad you say that because in talking with Don Waddell, the general manager here, obviously the mandate is to get very talented players because you want to win a Stanley Cup. But it's also very important to get the right mix of players and good people. And everybody talks about it. Everybody wants to have good people, right? I mean, good people that know how to play the game. And just talking to you and listening to you talk and listening to that description of Sean, it sounds like that that's exactly the direction that this is going in. And, you know, you've been in this long enough, whether it's college, whether it's now in the National Hockey League, it's those good people that really help to turn you into good teams, isn't it?
Exactly. And you know, you want good players, right? Like you need good players to win, but like there are great players in Columbus. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's the relationships, it's how the team gels, it's how they get along, it's how the communication goes. You know, that's what really drives teams to the next level and what sets a foundation, you know, for the future. If you're looking to build, you know, a team and have it grow from the ground up, and it's huge. And Monty will be a big part of that. Like he really will, and he's a great person. And then it's the relationships that you remember down the road. And it's funny how hockey seems to come around a full circle. Like, you never know who you cross paths with again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And you know what? When you're talking about that, it reminds me of years ago, we opened the season in Sweden, and we were in Stockholm, and we were on an off day. We were walking around, and I saw a sign, and I took a picture of it because I thought it was important. And the sign said, "Life's all about the stories." And that's really, at the end of the day, you want to be the best hockey player that you can be. You want to be on a team that's successful, and you want to win a Stanley Cup and all of those things. But at the end of the day, which is a long ways away for you, I get it, but it's all those stories. I'm sure you've got the college stories that you still tell to this day. That's what really makes it, isn't it?
It is, and that's what you remember down the road. Like, I'm not going to remember my fifth shift of this game, like, you're going to remember the key moments of where you played and, some of your better games or whatnot, maybe some of your worst games. Like, you're probably going to remember that too.
Somebody will remind you of those. You won't have to remember.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll probably see it somewhere on YouTube or something, but it's the stories, it's the people, it's how people made you feel, it's the David Savards, it's the, Sean Monahans, and that's what really sticks with you.
All right. So what's on the docket for you now? You've been traded here. You just find that out. You're trying to get your life in order. As you said, everybody around you is a little bit more worried about it than you are. But what is the next step as far as when do you pack it up? When do you start heading to Columbus? And when do you hope to be here?
Just spoke to the equipment manager today. So waiting on some gear, hopefully get some gear the next couple of days. We'll continue skating. Like I skated this morning, I'll skate tomorrow and Thursday. Just continue with regular life, and then we got to pack up our place here in Massachusetts, so getting that sorted, and then hope to be on the road either the 31st or the 1st is the plan right now. So be there for the start of September, which would be really nice. Get skates in for 2.5 weeks before camp starts, and then all the logistics, right? The apartment, figure out where we live, and all that fun stuff. So that stuff will come in due time, but I think for now, just really excited to finish off the summer on a good note, finish training really well, skates, and then get up there soon.
The beautiful part for you is, as all that stuff is coming into play, finding a place to live, you're still going to have to practice and go to the rink. So at least you'll have those built-in breaks.
And that's the fun part, right? Like that's way more fun than building a bed from IKEA or something. That's the fun part. And that's exactly what I'm happy to be doing.
Well, Jordan, we're very glad to have you, and it's great to get a chance to talk to you and see how excited you are about coming to Columbus. So I wish you nothing but the best in getting your gear, getting your workouts in, and then gathering all that stuff up and getting to Columbus. Look forward to seeing you in person here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, thanks. That was great. I really do appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Yeah, a pleasure meeting you. Yeah.
My son was up in, he worked in the Cape Cod League this year.
Okay.
Awesome. He was up in Orleans, Massachusetts. So, yeah, the 12 hours, he just went through that. He just came back home. So
it's not too bad, honestly. Like, I've driven worse much worse to hockey tournaments.
Right, exactly. In this day and age, like it's, like you could jump in a car here and be in Chicago in 6 hours. And even though it's not fun, if you wanted to do it, you could. It's not a big deal. Right?
It's not fun, but
right.
It's not bad at all.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you and safe travels. And again, thank you very much. And can't wait to meet you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
That is Jordan Harris, new Blue Jackets defenseman. And that will wrap up this week's edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott. Thanks for listening to 97.1 The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
One leg. Why is it always one leg? You got a winning parlay going, only to lose it all on that last lousy leg. Brutal. Well, not anymore, because DraftKings Sportsbook has your back with progressive parlays. It's okay if you lose a leg because you still get paid. So even if you're forsaken by the football football gods and take an L, you can still walk away a winner. So try an NFL Progressive Parlay today, where you can lose a leg and still get paid. DraftKings, we get you, so we got that. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Ah, the sounds of summer. The crack of a bat, the splash of a pool, and the dreaded silence of a broken AC. No. Don't sweat it. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team for an AC tune-up. Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. All set. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to go back to school? With Giant Eagle and Market District, of course. From lunchbox favorites to fun after-school snacks. Shop deals for school days and save on thousands of items throughout the store. Visit your local